Hello, Louise. This is what I do, Lisa. I say hello to everybody as they come. Hello, Heather. Thank you very much for the order of Iris napkins. They're on their way to Susie Kaufman, I think, London. Hello, Yvonne. Hello. Jules. Yes, it's a sort of summary top. It's just a very, 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 very old shirt that has got a lot of holes under the arms, and but it's so thin. But have you noticed? I'll wait until everybody's here before I draw attention to my recent gifts. Hello, Fiona. Hello, Anna Line. Hello, Carolyn Milburn. Did I just send you a message? The 2-inch Pro Arte paintbrushes. I did not think I would sell so many. Anyway, I've ordered some more. They're usually very, very quick at sending them, and I think, Carolyn, that you're due one, and I sent you a message to say I'll get it as quickly as I can. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Hello, Judith. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Evelyn. And Sheila. Now Sheila's here, and Jules is here, so I can just move that out of the way so I can get a bit closer. How about that? Absolutely gorgeous. Sheila, I'm very, very, very touched. That's so kind of you. And dreadfully extravagant, but then I am happy with extravagant gifts, and thank you. Speaking of extravagant gifts, Jules sent me some special tape, and it says here, you can write on it. I'm so busy, I have loads, missed that last week, but you're here. Hi Ian, you're here. So we can rely on you to put my website on, any links I mention. Brilliant. Ian is the tech guy. Hello, Karen. How are you? Nice to see you yesterday. Hello, Jill. Julie Ann. Yes, so this tape here, Julie sent because I mentioned that, I've got sort of hundreds and hundreds of brushes and they're all the same type. And I usually put a little dot on and the dot kept falling off. So anyway, she's given me this tape. What I've done is I've put some around the end of the 1, 2, 3 new brushes, so that I will know to be slightly more careful with those ones. Oh, hi Vicky, how are you? So yeah, I'm positively inundated with lovely gifts. You're very, very kind. This painting here, oops, I'm just wondering if I've got something to stop that sliding away. I've got a coffee jar with these yellow poppies in, and because my drawing board's on a slant, they do slide towards me. Ah, Ian, that's very kind of you. So there is somebody quite interested in this, so I'm trying to get it completed and sort of build up towards the top. I'd like it to be square. I'm going to put that to one side. I did have a thought. Need some paper. Don't go away. I don't think I'm going to finish that, so I'll just use this bit of paper. You are also generous if okay. Originals never go amiss. Right. I was reminded of something that is natural, comes naturally to me. And that thing that comes naturally to me is don't set yourself up for failure in the painting department. And by that, I think the process for me is, seeing something and thinking, that's just, very, very beautiful, or it moves me, or I absolutely love the colour of that, or whatever. And then the next process is thinking and thinking and thinking about it. And so that when I come to get on and paint it, got a bit of a plan, and when I look at something like a lilac, I would just dismiss it. Or a hawthorn tree with loads of blossom on. Blossom. It's tricky. Lots and lots of little flowers, which, to be honest, I don't know. They don't really do it for me. And I think it's tricky. It's always tricky. And I noticed that one or two of you have very ambitiously gone for things like lilac and then kind of slightly struggled with where to go next, which is exactly what I would be doing. I think it's a good idea if you can see a thing and then conceive of how you might be able to describe it using what you're good at, painting. I'm here, I'm looking out, and I've got a whole bank of lupins, and apart from the sort of like fiddling on with each little floret on the spire of lupins, to be honest, they don't really do it for me anyway, but it's not a bad idea to not set yourself up for failure and set yourself up. Foxgloves, that's a very good one. Now, I never really painted foxgloves, but a really, really dear friend of mine asked me about foxgloves, and I said, they don't really do it for me, but I did do one or two paintings. And foxgloves are slightly, quite a lot easier than lupins or lilacs. They've got quite a big floret, I think, and sorry, the sheep making the wires go. And I have painted foxgloves and they're quite nice. But I was reminded that in the days when I gave about my perennials, I used to have some delphiniums, and I did try lupins. I know I don't want to, Jill's YouTube channel. Oh, thank you very much. Ian's just put the link to my YouTube channel. But delphiniums, you cannot go past delphiniums, and I very slightly remember painting them, and I used a brush. Give me a sec, I'm just going to see if I can find a brush. Yeah, I think it might have been this one. Quite a fat brush. Sounds like a helicopter. Really what I want is a tall piece of... I can do it on here. I'm going to tip you up and have a go. Good afternoon, Marjorie Milburn and Maria Cooper. So I'm going to... Your lupins or your life? Lupins. Look at my beautiful, beautiful Angus. So pleased with it. There's a painting upstairs. I'm going to put my specs on. I can't see a thing. I think I've got a fatter one than that. I thought I had a really, really fat. Maybe not. Maybe I threw it away. Or gave it away. That would be more likely. So blue, really blue. I'll mix. And this is just the Ludlow blue, because I reloaded my thing yesterday. And delphiniums do come in lots of different shades. And they broadly are covered in things a bit like that, aren't they? I haven't got one in front of me, I'm just remembering. But I'm hoping it will inspire you. I'll tip you a bit more. I'm hoping it might inspire you to... inspire is a good pun. To have a go. Bit more blue. I think I probably need to I don't know. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. So literally, that is the shape of a delphinium bud, and they've got these funny little tubes down, like really funny little tubes there. And then that's the unopened flower. Oh, this paper's weird. So I'm just sort of hinting, really. And they're getting bigger and bigger and more open as we get down the spire. I think you're getting the, the idea, and really, this is something that you could all try. And do you know, while it's still wet, I could get some just pure blue straight out of here, and add some intensity. So, just a sort of hint at how you could paint delphiniums. But you've got to actually have them in front of you. It's like you really need to understand how these what they look like right up close to be able to. It is satisfying, Katie. Thank you, Lorna. I think that is why delphiniums are also called larkspur. I thought they were different. The seed packets, one of them says larkspur and one says delphiniums. I think that may be the same family. Yeah, they're just lovely. They're all lovely. Love the delphinium. Anyway, so that's like an idea, but it's not finished. I'm going to put it to one side and come back to it. I might need a reminder. I'm just going to put that there. And we're going to get... The sheep have just like run away, shot away. I don't know why. Right, so this needs not a massive amount more doing to it. So I'm going to do it, I'm going to tip you up. Jill Oakley, lovely Jill Oakley, how are you? I miss you. I'm sure are different. I'm sure are different. Well, Sheila, I'm sure you are different, but right, tip you up. I've got Lisa here today, can you hear her? Sorry?
I've gone quiet.
Hang on a minute. Why have you gone quiet, Lisa?
Stop the computer.
Oh, I see. Oh, golly. Paint. This, like anything else white that I wear, ends up being caked in paint. Right, where is that tape that Jules gave me? Because this isn't really working. But as I mentioned yesterday, I don't have to worry about that because my framer, oh, why can I never find the end? My framer has a process. Oh, did you write that, Jules? I thought that came on the tape. I've just realised it looks like it's actually your writing. What an idiot I am. Oh yeah, because there's none on the rest of it. I did think if there was writing all over it. I hope you don't mind me doing this, Jules. Right, I need to swap palettes now. Get my ready one, the red one here. And I'm going to put some red in there. So yesterday we had a lovely family visitation in the garden, and Fifey and I very nearly fell out because there are two grandchildren. One of them's 4 and the other one's 2, and because you're meant to stay outside, that isn't really a hardship when the sun's shining, but it becomes perilous when the sun is shining. Can you see? Because of the intense sun. So I said to Fifey, let's rig something up. I went and got like a massive big cattle feed bucket, and I got a sledge and I filled them with water up just near the house. And I had this lovely vision of them sploshing around, jumping in and out of the bucket while we sat and drank tea and smiled and chatted. Where is there anywhere else where I need to put a little bit of... Well, I've got it on my brush. There. So I had this idea of getting an old sheet and making a sort of canopy. And one of the ideas was just to use the washing line. And then I remembered that we've got this this metal frame for runner beans that we don't use for runner beans. I don't know why. And I thought we could rig something up. And Fifey was not really, I don't know, he wasn't like in the flow mentally as I was. Anyway, we got it rigged up, very, very nearly fell out. And so they turned up the dear ones. Hamish in a sort of peasant style frock with little tiny deer all around the bottom. I think I've mentioned that he won't wear trousers, and he just calls dresses nice. So he says, wear my nice, and that means where is my dress? And okay, I'm going to do a few more of these slightly bluer leaves in the background to sort of create a sense of depth. So I'll move that out of the way and get this in the way. So it'd be quite funny if he's still wearing frocks when he goes to school. What are you saying? Peter, hello Tim. I know they have a bigger spur. That can we use dentures? Something like use this to label your stuff. That's right, that's exactly what it said. Not quite blue enough. I just want the ones I'm about to do now to look a little bit more distant. We'll see. This is a very, very different paper that I did these frogs on when I had some in a vivarium. to this paper, and it accepts the colour in a very different way too. Is there somebody here, Lisa, do you think?
I'm heading out that way, so I'll...
Thank you. We're expecting a courier. We've got some... Oops, sorry. We've got some pictures going away. I'm going to Sweden, which isn't in the EU, and I'm always a little bit flummoxed because we have a certain procedure for sending things that are EU and then another procedure for the States and Australia and New Zealand. And the paperwork's a bit different as well. You have to put commercial invoices with things that go to non-EU countries. So I'm really just painting these on fairly randomly. Lisa seems to have disappeared into a black hole and not returned. I wonder if Sheila's still there, because we use the same company for all our shipping, which is In Express, and I cannot recommend them highly enough. If any of you have a mail order business, or you know someone who has a mail order business, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with Peter de Westlow, who is, well, he's the local agent in this part of the UK, and quite frankly, you'd struggle to find a more helpful person, him and his team. So I gather today and tomorrow are the last of the hot sunny days. So I have to work quite quick because in this warmth and heat, it's drying quite quickly. So to add a little bit of depth, which is what I'm doing here and here, got to do it quickly because it's drying. What was it?
We just wanted to run outside, so...
They've just been outside?
We were just being naughty.
Naughty dogs. But at least I didn't leave my dogs in a shed all night. She did. Don't worry. I don't think anybody will report you to the RSPCA. I don't think she heard that. So I'm like adding all these leaves, but then I'm going to do a pale, like a blue background. So all the bits that are white will be blue, and that'll add to the sense of depth, I hope. You see why I really, really like these. Sorry, I'm not sure you can see down there. Why I really like these brushes, because you can just twist and get them to do what you want. Let's have a little look over here. I think we could do with a bit more here. Can you see? I thought the courier would purchase a large original. Oh, do you mean the guy that... No, I don't think so. I do not think that is going to happen, Beth. One of his daughters is actually very artistic. His wife's sent me some nice pictures of some drawing that she had done. I think she'd been watching me doing this. a few weeks ago during lockdown. I think they're probably busy doing stuff with the horses now, to be truthful. And it was really lovely. Xanthi, I think it was. What a beautiful name. Have you heard of this thing called, is it called AMSM? It's like sounds that are like umami. Somebody mentioned it on television last night, and I said, I know what that is. I heard a programme about this on the radio, because I listen to Radio 4, as you probably know, from the crack of dawn until The Archers comes on. And this programme was saying that there are certain sounds. It wasn't. It was Rob and Ramesh Ranganathan, who is my favourite comedian at the moment. He had somebody who eats gherkins right close to the microphone, and people pay good money to listen to it. Or should I say, they don't pay good money, but the person who does it has got a very, very popular... I'm going on to the blue now, so this is just practically neat blue. Where are we? And then I'm going to do something to that delphinium that you will like. Is that a nice enough blue? So yeah, there are sounds that give you a sort of tingling sensation that goes all the way up your back and at the back of your neck, and it makes you feel nice. And I remembered the sound of the zip on my brother-in-law's video that he sent me, of him unzipping his polythene greenhouse, and he deliberately, when he got to the top of the door, slowed the zip down so it went zzz, 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 and he very, very, very slowly did it. And I said to Fifey, do you know, I think that's one of those things, one of those that Ramesh is talking about. I think you probably think I'm talking gibberish, but you'll be in weeks and months to come, when it's the thing, you'll say, oh yeah, Marianne was talking about that. She was just way ahead of the curve. Okay, so this is like the nice, easy bit. And as those of you who've ever sort of been like taught to do watercolour will have noticed. Yeah, I don't like gherkins. Yeah, it's called Ayamurasam, but it is like umami sound. Yeah, those if any of you have done like watercolour tutorials from people who teach like for a living, there are ways and things that they say, do this and don't do that. And I'm hoping that you've noticed that I break all of those rules, and you don't really have to stick to those rules in order to achieve unzipping. Favourite sound? Yeah, well, it would be for you, Marianne Ray. I bet you don't hear that very often. Like the sound of £50 notes in my hand. The sound of the fridge door opening. Or the freezer. Do you know about that, Lisa? You know, there are sounds, and they call them something like ARSM, and they give you like a really, really nice feeling. And there was one on Ramesh and Bob the other day, like, do you know who I mean? Ramesh Ranganathan. And they had a video of a woman eating gherkins really, really close to the microphone. And people don't pay to listen to it, but enough people listen to it on her YouTube that she gets money from the advertisers. How about that? Yeah, I could sit and eat gherkins next to a microphone. It'd be a lot cheaper than, well, easier than painting in front of you lot. And I haven't had anybody offering me like advertising deals. May I just suggest that you all go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, which doesn't cost you anything. and then just sort of like and comment and say, that's nice, she's really clever, and oh, I could watch this all day, just stuff like that. And then maybe Coca-Cola will say, we'll give you £1 million if you let us advertise on your YouTube channel. It's just a suggestion. I like the sound of a lid coming off the Pringles. Ah! You don't say. Anyway, Jules, can I just say, if it was you, it would be the sound of a packet of crisps containing Marmite flavoured crisps opening, because I noticed that was your crisp of favour when you lost your keys that time, and I had to go into your van, into your pickup to try and find the keys. I was astonished that there even was such a thing as Marmite flavoured crisps. Did you know that, Lisa?
I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't eat it.
You wouldn't?
No.
Why?
You either love it or you hate it, don't you?
Oh, do you hate it?
Yeah.
Oh, I quite like them. But I have to say, what I would really like is if Walker's, or I think Tudor have gone, but if they made there used to be a tomato ketchup flavour crisp, and they were my favourite when I came out of the swimming pool. When they used to have those machines and you'd put your money in, and with a bit of luck, a bag of crisps or something would plop down.
I remember eating tomato ketchup flavoured, like, you know, the corn snacks, like the balls.
Yeah,
We used to do them when we were kids.
really?
I remember them.
Corn balls.
Yeah, I don't know what, but they were like tomato sauce, but I can't think what they were called.
Right. And I think my favourite crisp, which is also a Monster Munch, pickled onion. So we're really getting sort of a depth here. And the blue next to the red is nice, I think. There should be like visual umami things. And for me, stuff like a blue next to a red and a purple next to a green, I like that. And I think I mentioned the colour wheel, which I was completely unaware of until I mentioned to my designer. I said, why is it that purple and green just look amazing together? I could just like eat it. And he said, that is because they are opposite on the colour wheel. And I said, what's a colour wheel? So basically, instinctively, I knew what a colour wheel was. I just didn't know it in my head.
Do you know your primary colours?
I know what primary colours. She can be a little bit cheeky. Tudor tomato ketchup crisps, Monster Munch. We have the same taste in crisps. Paresthesia. What's paresthesia? Do you know what paresthesia is, Lisa?
No, I've heard of it.
Someone's just said paresthesia. I like Paris. I went there on my honeymoon. Is that... I wonder if that's what it means. Part of the honeymoon. We had our honeymoon, Fifey and I. This is obviously my second honeymoon with my far and away favourite husband. The first part of the honeymoon was we hired a half-decker and sailed on the Norfolk Broads and stayed in a really lovely hotel right next to one of the Broads. And then after that we got a funny little aeroplane and we went to Paris and stayed really, really near to the Ile de la Cité with the Notre Dame, which sadly got burnt down, didn't it, recently? Yeah, we were literally less than a quarter of a mile away. And that was 21 years ago. I think you can sort of see how it's going, and the darker background, I think, is just works with the blue in the red, and I've obviously got to do the detail on these bits here as well. I'm going to maybe return to the delphinium / larkspur. I wonder if it's dry. Oh, it's here. Fairly dry. You're going to like the next bit. Okay. Right. So we're sort of looking at this area and asking ourselves whether it works. I think because you've got some of the red bleed in the background and because you've got some of this blue in the red, it somehow marries it together. I don't know why, but it does. Anyway, it's quite nice, put that there. Right, so here is the lovely delphinium / larkspur, whatever. Right, put that nice brush away and get the this one. Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Well, I'm struggling to work out. No, even more purpley, I think. And a little bit paler. And then I'm just going to fairly randomly over the top. Just forget they're there, the ones underneath, and just paint over the top. And it sort of creates an almost 3D thing. I think it does anyway. I remember a friend of mine, Claudia Rankin, who's an amazing artist. She makes fantastic things out of ceramics. Some of you know her. Years and years and years ago, she came up here with her husband one day, and because she's a really lovely person, she just gave me this bunch of delphiniums and a peony. And I could not wait for them to go home because it was just, they were so beautiful, and I had to paint them. And I had to devise a way of somehow dealing with all this complicated stuff without getting bogged down by the detail. And that was the way I did it. There you are, another secret. So that's quite nice, isn't it? I think what might make it a tiny bit nicer would be just to touch some of that, some wet areas with this lovely paint that I don't know the name of, but is like the Crimson. It's pretty nice. And you've got this real richness down here. Now when you put green, the green of the leaves next to this purple, it's absolutely stunning. Thank you, Meru. And I think with that, drink your tea, check the time. I've already had my tea. I managed to fix my watch as well. Tomorrow, you'll have to find something else to do between 12 o'clock and 12:40, because my other daughter is coming up with her 2 children who might take a little bit more interest in the water and the lovely shade we created for them. A froggy would be stunning with the delphiniums too. I'm just looking at it. Look what the purpley stuff's done. Just divine. Nice. That's an umami, a visual umami thing for me anyway. This is lovely. I wish I had some nice delphiniums and then I could paint them. Anyway, it's Ornata. You see, you don't even need me. Right, well, have a lovely day. It's absolutely gorgeous here. It's the second last warm day, so I'm going to be swimming in the lake tonight. Glorious delphiniums, thank you for this morning's notification. Right, lovely to see you. Bye.